Hello, 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 everybody. We're finally bringing back the Duel series. That is correct. With an incredible matchup. For our very first day here. A best of 9 between Soma and Snow. The two ASL finalists from this season. It's going to be fantastic. We're just getting set up here, guys. It's been a while. Got to scrape off some rust. Frantically throwing things together here. Making sure that everything still works. But my Spanish counterpart ensures me that we will be getting started here soon. Within the next couple of minutes. We're going to be starting off on Polestar. Jumping to Metropolis. Running the full gauntlet here through all of these great maps and getting our final map on Knockout. We'll see if we make it that far. These guys have been closely matched in the past. I think this either goes to a very long series. Maybe goes all 9 games. And we get, you know, one player or the other. Maybe Snow wins, maybe Soma wins. Or we could see a very short series with Soma coming out on top. I think that's the only two possibilities here. I can't see a world where Snow absolutely smashes through Soma. As much as I love him, I think Snow is just not quite on that level. Would be awesome to see, though. Get some revenge for that disappointing loss in the ASL. I'll talk more about the Duel series here, guys, once we actually get started with the games. Kind of what's going on with it and how often it's going to be played. How often it's going to be streamed. But I appreciate the 4 of you who have shown up here for the live cast. That's more than I expected. This is kind of this has been all over the place. I've just sort of announced this out of the blue, I guess. So I appreciate you guys. Very much appreciate the people who have stayed on as subs to the SCTV EN channel as well. That's some real dedication right there. I think there's 2 subs still. And I definitely appreciate you guys for doing that. Sounds like we're getting into the game here, guys. Getting ready to start game number 1. It's all locked and loaded. Oh. Hoping for a long series here. And hoping that my voice can handle it. I've been casting a lot lately. We've been cranking out games. There's a new Chinese series that I've been doing. Lots of best of 7s. With a lot of great players. And been hitting it hard lately with Pro League as well. I think we're all ready. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh my gosh. Like I said, guys, knocking the rust off. I'm not sure if this is going up on my channel or if it's going up on StarCastTV channel. I'm definitely gonna do a little bit of editing here, though. If it's going up on my channel, make sure that it runs a little bit more smoothly. I don't know if he's waiting for me, because I definitely said go. Alright, we're good to go. Awesome. We are set. Just gonna make sure that I'm not covering anything important. And there it is, snow. Spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner. The King of Silver right now. Our eternal runner-up. Going up against this absolutely fierce Zerg player. Here in the top left, Soma. Newly crowned champion. We always knew he could do it. Been waiting on a Soma ASL championship for a while, and he finally delivered after coming back from the military. I didn't think he would be able to do it so fast. But he clearly went into some very serious training during his military service. I wonder how much actual military training he was really doing when he was practicing this hard for ASL at the same time. Kind of boggles the mind, but it looks like Snow's going to be opening up with a gateway here. I thought he might be toying with the idea of going Nexus first. Could have gotten away with it as well. Simple overpull here from Soma. Plus the cross map. Wouldn't have been a bad opener for Snow. Looks like he won't be able to block this hatchery either. Oh, just barely not. So I'm gonna make a couple pairs of lings maybe. Start to deal with this probe harassment. Immediate pull off the line. This is great for Snow. Just keep him a little bit busy right now. Prevent a tiny bit of that mining. Do not lose this probe, though. That's one thing I think that Snow's gotten so much better at over the last couple of seasons, is keeping this probe alive and doing an excellent job of scouting his opponent, figuring out what he's up to. Soma's kind of adapted to that by doing a lot of cross-teching. Faking Hydralisk Bus and going for Mutas, or faking Mutalisk and going for Hydralisk Bus. Throwing his opponent off. And keeping them on their toes has won him so many games in the past little while. Just the one Zealot here with a couple probes on the ramp. Not even going to try to get by. 2 probes committed there. Is quite good for Soma. Just kind of dancing around with these 4 lings has enabled him to kind of drone up back at home, because these Zealots have not been able to commit, and he's kept these 2 probes from mining as well. So Snow, rather than using 2 Zealots on the ramp and getting those probes to mine, sending 1 Zealot across the map. Actually, he's turned it around and sent it back home. So he is going to bring everything together so he can get these probes to mining and keep the lings out. This is really good handling of the situation by Soma. Just don't engage. Just keep moving around. look for openings. And he's managed to keep the Zealots of Snow back. In large part due to just these 4 Lings kind of hovering around the front here. Look, he's still going to keep them back. So can drone up very hard. Oh, the probe going to slip by into the main, though. That's a big mistake from Soma. He's going to allow a full scout. That's what I'm talking about. Snow's gotten a lot better at getting in and finding out what the Zerg player is up to. Just gleaning as much information as possible. A lot of damage on this gateway. May lose the Zealot. Oh, he loses the Zealot. Get some cannons. Keep this gateway alive. Run by. 2 Lings make it into the main. That's not good. Of course. Hate to see it. 2 Lings get by into the main, and now, although Snow has managed to defend his gateway and keep it alive, he's still going to be feeling a little bit uncomfortable with these Lings running around in the main, looking for little kills here and there while pressuring this front. Not a huge amount of Lings have been made here, but he's done a lot with a little. So Snow gonna send his Corsair across to find out exactly what's going on. What the follow-up's gonna be here from Soma. He saw a lot with that initial scout, the probe into the main. Wants to get confirmation as to what's happening here back at home. 1 probe goes down, so I think that's the totality of the damage that will be ascertained by these 2 Lings in the main. But still a good effort from Soma. Always looking for openings, always looking for points of weakness, and slipping by any Lings into the main base. It is always a pain for the Protoss player to keep their multitasking taxed as much as possible. Maybe even get a little bit of probe damage. I'm not sure if that 1 Ling managed to get any more probes, but it's unlikely considering the Zealot was still chasing. Now Zealots are out on the map, and as legs and +1 to start to finish up here, we may be seeing a bit of pressure coming from Snow. Soma's setting up everything back at home so that it won't easily break to just a few Zealots on the ground. Has a pretty nice setup there with the Hydralisk Den under the hatchery. It's not a full wall, but with the eggs popping up there, going to be able to create a full wall in situations that are calling for it. To quickly block out those Zealots from running by into the natural or the main. Has range on the way. I haven't seen a Spire yet, but I'm expecting one soon. Soma doesn't have his 3rd gas, but he's not one to commit to one tech path entirely. He's much more likely. Actually, you know what? He might be looking for a pre-storm bust timing. Look at this. He finishes Overlord speed, and he's just pumping Hydras. He did lose an Overlord right there, and got supply block. This could actually throw a big wrench into the plans here for Soma, and the storm is actually pretty closely timed here. Look, he's going to dive on the cannon. DT pops out. DT not really going to be able to do too much with the Overlord speed finishing. 2 cannons down. Here comes the Overlords. And the 2 cannons here at the front are just not quite going to be able to hold, it seems. So close to finishing this Storm upgrade, by the way. Storm is like seconds away. There it is. It does finish, but all the cannons are dead. Can he rally Zealots? And with a couple of Storms hold this? It's going to be close. Not a lot of Hydras are coming across behind this because he was supply blocked for a moment. Going to be losing some High Templar here. Where are the Storms? I only saw 1. He's got another Storm. Oh, he just doesn't have the energy for it. There, he's got 1 more Storm available. Here comes the Zealots coming out to fight now. DT on the front line. Be fighting along with these Zealots. Can he get one storm? The Hydra spread is so good. There's no place to actually cast this. He does cast it on the right-hand side, but it's not even going to matter, it seems. The Zealots come out and fight, but they don't have the muscle to push this back, and he gets completely overwhelmed. Soma takes game number 1. Oof. A little bit rough there. And I completely forgot to throw in the stinger. My bad, guys. Put quite a lot of work into that. I'll have to throw it up for our next transition. Game at number 1 goes over to Soma. Pretty much what you would expect from a match between these two. This is kind of how it goes between them. Soma is just so good at hitting these timings. A lot of the time, he's just going to find a way in early and bust you. No matter how good your defense is, no matter how good you are at scouting. Soma's just that much better at finding his way in. So we're going to put a W up on the board for him. A well-deserved win. Let me see here. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to throw this up. Okay. Good to go. That's a bit of a big W, but we'll stick with it for now. We're ready to jump into our next game, guys. We're going to jump into Metropolis here. And we've also got the announcement about the next Soup Duel series. That's going to be tomorrow, or, excuse me, on Saturday. 2 days from 2 days from now. And that's going to be best versus light. So that should be a lot of fun as well. Definitely hit the like button wherever you are if you're on StarCastTV or if you're on my channel, Saiyan KCM. We're bringing it back, guys. We're bringing back the Duel series, and we're hopping into game number 2. That's right. I have to change the I have to change the score. Let me throw a 1 up there. There we go. All right. We are ready. Snow in the top right, Soma in the bottom left. Game number 2 now. As we continue on with our first Soup Duel series. The return here. The resurrection of the Soup Duel series. And our next duel is going to be a series between Best and Light. Just made that announcement. And so we've got some great matchups. We've got some fantastic games to show. and are as ever appreciative of everybody who shows up to watch live or on YouTube, whether that be SCTVEN live or my channel Saiyan KCM or StarCastTV. We appreciate you guys. And any comments that you guys have for this series, leave them down below. Another overpool here from Soma. Getting comfortable in this series. No Nexus first from Snow, but he will throw down a Forge Fast Expand and optimize his build from what he's seen to get this Nexus out as quickly as possible. Going Forge, Nexus, then Cannon. Should have this up in time to prevent any sort of a run by from Soma. And so this build, he should be feeling pretty good with the 4 Lings popping out in the overpool build. It's not a huge advantage, but Soma's got a little bit of tempo here. Or excuse me, Snow's got a little bit of tempo. And hopefully we'll be able to give us a really solid game here. It's going to take a lot of good scouting. And he's going to have to take the possibility of pre-storm Hydra Bust timing very, very seriously, because just did not quite have enough Zealots in that last game to hold. Maybe that was due to the run by and the pressure that was put onto him early. He just wasn't quite optimized. That's what we've heard Flash say about his play in the past, that he just does not have the optimizations quite down in this matchup, or really in any matchup. He's so good with Reavers, he's able to make up for that in the Protoss versus Terran matchup. But here he's constantly struggling versus Zergs, especially these top Zergs who can multitask, keep you back, put on pressure to mess up your timings while hitting all of their timings perfectly. The skill level is just incredible for what Soma can actually do, what he can actually pull off. Is awe-inspiring for a lot of us Zergs out here. We just can never make quite that many drones, quite that many Hydras at such a timing while doing all the other things that he's attempting to do. And look at this, a 4th hatchery gets placed. 4th hatch in the main. That is interesting. A 4-hatch Hydra build? Not what I would expect from Soma. He's such a tech player. This is kind of out of character. Honestly, this is a cool build. I like the build. I know that Shun is a big fan of this style. He talks about it a lot, but Soma not that much of a 4-hatch Hydra player. Whenever I think of Soma, I think of Mutas, fantastic control, and Hydraless Bust. Cross-teching, switching back and forth between the two is what makes him so powerful. But going 4-hatch Hydra, playing outside of his normal style, this might throw Snow off. Snow's going to be looking for a more aggressive Zerg. Somebody's going to be trying to bust him early, and generally with this, like, you can go for a pre-storm timing with a build like this for sure. But you could also drone up really heavily and just become an absolute monster. You're just going to have so much larva. You didn't have to commit to early teching. So the amount of drones, the amount of economy that can be squeezed out while defending just bare minimum with Hydras is kind of crazy. He's really going to have a lot if he decides to continue throwing down hatches and get into a 4th base quickly. We could see Soma absolutely explode. Ooh, Reaver. Very interesting. Snow identifying that this is not a Mutalisk play means that Snow has the option to go into Corsair Reaver. I mean, this is crazy from him. Trying to pull this off versus a player the caliber of Soma. I mean, it's a hard enough build to use in the best cases, even when you have a big advantage in terms of skill level. But against Soma, it's going to be really tough. He's looking for some Overlord kills, trying to get whatever he can at some of these bases. Soma has no idea that Reaver is coming. He has zero clue. Especially considering the fact there is an upgrade rolling here at the front. He actually cancels the upgrade at the front. I think that was a fake upgrade. Snow pretending that he's going to lose that forge, but I don't think he ever wanted to get that upgrade anyway. You really don't, generally you don't get this upgrade with the Reaver play. He sees the Reaver. Revealing it now is a little bit surprising. I thought that he would suddenly fly into the main and drop the Reaver, but now that that's been revealed at the front, this takes a lot of the sting out of the first attack. I'm not sure I agree with this from Snow. Bring that Reaver down does shut down the Hydra attack, but I mean, he gave up the upgrade already anyway. So revealing that is a little bit questionable. I'm curious how this will end up panning out for him. Loop around and coming into the natural. Oh boy. Oh, good pull there. Oh my goodness. Very good pull. Did you see that? He pulled back the 2 Hydras that were at the back, assuming that Soma would have been targeting that. And he was completely right. He leaves the 2 Hydras at the front to just keep dealing damage. And he pulled back the Hydras at the back, which made them take half damage from the Reaver, keeping them alive and really negating this first attack in. Generally, the first Reaver drop is the most important, guys. Uh-oh. 4 Overlords heading north. He's actually going to lose a lot of these. Oh, maybe all 4. Wow. Pretty significant Overlord damage there, but can he get something done with these Reavers? Out of position right now are these Hydras. Hydra's out of position there on that low ground. He could come down into the center left, try to get that, try to get some drones, try to get some kills there. Looks like he's going to fly in now. No. Turning around at the last second. Gonna loop around in a different direction, it looks like. Or maybe look to... Nice. Huge kill there from out of range, from out of vision. Gets about 5 Hydra kills. Uh-oh. Burrowed Hydra over here. Looks like he's gonna shoot his own. Yeah. Shoots his own Dragoon in order to clear that up. It's not optimal. Definitely not optimal, but definitely wants to get that hatch down or get that Nexus down as soon as possible. Hydra's coming in. Oh my gosh! Someone not paying attention for just a second. Almost lost like basically all of his Hydras there at the front. Looks like he's gonna dive on the natural though. Natural's not well defended. I think a lot of stuff just went down out on the map too, by the way. I think maybe he lost some Reavers out on the map. A bit of craziness going on right now. Hydra's everywhere. And especially in this natural, dealing a lot of damage. Making it so scrappy and so hard for Snow to contend with all these little attacks everywhere. The Reavers are trying to come down this ramp. They don't have support, though, and so he's just going to dive right on top of this. Reavers are doing fantastic, but they can only do so much. He needs a ground army for assisting this. He's losing a lot of probes. And Soma's just continuing to grow. That was another great Scarab connection. 14 kill Reaver there. Has done so much. Transferring some probes. Finally over to this third. Third has been unsaturated for quite some time. Dragoon's just kind of walking out into the middle, gonna die. Snow is taxed to the absolute max, and this is the problem with playing a Reaver build versus Zerg, is you really will be taxed trying to pull this off, especially against someone who's this good at multitasking. Soma seems to be absolutely everywhere and putting on so much pressure, and now he's going to come through with a Mutalisk switch, dive directly onto this Reaver, kill that off immediately, kill the shuttle, prevent any more Reavers from being sent over here. And there's not enough cannons to hold this high ground, so this base is dead. I think that Snow is cooked. He tried it. He tried to go Reaver versus Soma, and it was the right game to go for it. But you need to get damaged with that first drop, and revealing the Reaver to Soma immediately there. I feel like it was the wrong call. Also, having these Corsairs out of position, of course. Unfortunate for Snow. If those Corsairs had been helping to defend that Reaver on high ground, maybe he could have tried to hold that third. But he's lost the Nexus. He's lost so many probes. He's at 39 to 51. It's going to be a quick closer here from Soma as he pushes in towards this natural. Zones the Reaver on the left-hand side and picks off High Templars. He's going to go after these Reavers now. Going to immediately gun them down. Hydras spilling across the map are going to take this fight, and there's no hope here left for Snow. So he taps out another win for Soma. This is what I was afraid of. I was afraid that we might get a bit of a stomp from Soma. I hope that we can see Snow start to bring this one back as we move forward to Radeon, but it's looking a little bit grim, not gonna lie to you guys. It's not looking great here. I'll take a moment. Gonna fix our graphic here for the screen. Then we're gonna hop into our next game. Sorry guys, I'm having a hard time doing a lot of things at once. Let's see here. All right, that should be updated. And I will update the score. It disappeared. Sweet. There we go. All right, we're good to go. We are ready. All right, we're good to go. Hop into this next game. Sorry for the delay, guys. We're hopping in to game number 3. We got Snow over here at the top left. And there he is, Soma in the top right. Hope all the sound is good for you guys. I should definitely switch up the music here. Let's do some Zerg music. Because Zerg is absolutely dominating right now. Smashing it. Soma 2-0 in the series so far. If there's any chatters out there, you can let me know. If the sound is okay. Soma. 9 pool extractor trick. Gonna be making a lot of lings early. Trying to put on quite a bit of pressure. Let's see. I think that Snow was planning to drop a Nexus here. He's gonna have to get that Forge and probably double cannon. It's very lucky that Snow got the first scout. If Snow scouted to bottom left, he would have been in a lot of trouble. He might have even just straight up lost because of the build order advantage. There it is, the double cannon. At least he can force the double cannon, but I don't think Soma will get much more than this. Immediately grabs his third and should be moving to take that natural here in a moment. 9 pool has not worked out. He cancels the second cannon. Wow, to get the Nexus down as soon as possible. Optimizations by Snow are looking pretty good, at least for the early game build. He's going to have a pretty decent advantage going into this. Yeah, Snow is going to be feeling good about having these lings not come across the map and not force that double cannon. You really do need to force the double cannon if you go for 9 pool. This is a little bit rough. But this is the type of advantage that Snow maybe needs to take a win over Soma. Get a little bit lucky in the early game with the scouting. Optimize early so that he can have a really crisp timing, a really nice build. With nothing slipping by into the main, no distractions. He can just hit his build while putting the pressure onto Soma. This should be a strong game for Snow, but we've already seen what Soma can do. He makes this race look absolutely overpowered when it comes to the matchup. Makes it feel like there's hardly anything that the Protoss player can do. Almost catching this probe. Looks like he does get it. Sudden swell of Lings. Surprising snow there, and he's gonna have to stay back at home, just make zealots, and hold this wall. There's too many Lings out on the map. The map is a dark and scary place right now. Might be a good idea to slip out another probe. Try to get some scouting. But he's not doing that right now. Spire on the way. Just gonna wait for the Corsair to get the full scouting information. There's a second gateway in the natural. Gonna be making an awkward number of zealots for around that 7-minute mark. That move out timing could be powerful. It could be painful for Soma, who's been a little bit hindered in this early game by his own build. Hydralisk Den coming up here in the 3rd, so gonna be doing a bit of that cross-teching I was talking about earlier. He hasn't showed, or he hasn't shown his power level just yet. This isn't even his final form. Let's see if Snow can spot this. He sees the Spire. Heading over towards that 3rd. Does he see it? Okay, he does see it. Very important. Gets that scouting information. Doesn't tell him exactly what Soma's up to, though. And so he's going to have to build some safety cannons. Couple safety cannons here and there just to make sure that he doesn't die to an Ogres or Gamer play. Lings not giving him the engagement. Not until these Mutas have softened up the Zealots. And they will do so. Good pull on the drones. Not going to lose anything just yet. Lings blocking on the ramp. And the Zealots are going to start to split off, hit different locations, and cause a bit of a ruckus here for the Zerg player to try and contend with. 4 Zealots into the 3rd. Causing a problem. Another Zealot heading over towards that main base as well. Splitting up, spreading, and just trying to get some damage here and there. Looks like it's not going to work out for him, but he got a couple kills. Slowed things down ever so slightly. As Storm on the way now. Someone made a lot of Lings there too. Hydra's now starting to pop out. Is there a pre-storm timing that he could try to hit? Already almost at that 8-minute mark. Right around the timing when Storm will be coming into play. Only 3 cannons at the front. And maybe he can dive this with Mutas. Maybe he can dive on the High Templar with Mutas. Here he goes. He's going to dive on them. Forces the Archon morph, which is... I mean, that's everything you could want here. Of course, you'd rather kill the High Templar, but forcing the Archon is kind of the same thing. He's not going to have Storm available. He loses the High Templar there at the front. High Templar goes down as it pops out of the gateway. He has not killed the eggs yet, so these Zealots can't really get out. Archon here holding the line against all these Lings that are pouring in, but the Hydras are kind of uncontested. Nothing can actually hit them right now as they stand on the other side of the wall and just bang away at these cannons and Zealots. Diving on that one more cannon that just finished up. Another cannon that comes out. DT pops. There's a Storm, but it's too late. The pre-storm timing is too good. And another cannon falls. Another win. Looks like for Soma here. The cross-stacking a little bit too powerful. for Snow to contend with. This guy is an absolute monster. And these Zealots are going to come out. Just barely not enough to hold on. Barely not enough to hold on as Hydras spill across the map. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's like he's just almost got enough here. But not quite. And the Hydras push through for the win. GG. Snow taps out yet again. You have to feel a little bit bad for Snowman. Good old Snowman. He's melting under the pressure. Having a hard time. You can't blame him. Soma is absolutely ridiculous. Another win goes over to him. This could be an absolute stomp. He might actually just 5-0 Snow. How ridiculous would that be? That's certainly not what we want. But it may be the result we're getting here today. Snow just cannot hang with this guy. At least not today. Maybe it's an off day for him. He is just struggling to do anything. He's hitting him with a Nerf bat. And Soma's got an AK. Just filling Snow full of holes. Alright, that was a little bit quicker. I managed to fix it up. And we're ready to go. Getting the hang of it. Oh. Good to go. Here it is, game number 4 in the Super Duel series between Snow and Soma. We're on Dominator now with Snow spawning center right, Soma top left. Soma absolutely crushing it today. Showing us some different styles, but that last one was definitely his most powerful. That was his ultimate form. Even with the early game build order advantage of Snow, able to pull off an excellent hold, followed by a great pre-storm timing. Hard to say what Snow could have done better there, aside from just adding on more cannons earlier. But if you end up doing something like that, you just end up adding a bunch of cannons. Possibility that Soma sees that and just doesn't do the bust. It's like, that's a little hard. It is definitely hard. You have to acknowledge the difficulty here. The bind that Soma has managed to put his Protoss opponents in, where, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. You have to prepare for everything. And if you over-prepare, then he essentially just wins through economy. It's so hard to deal with. We're watching Snow struggle with it now. It's a gateway opener from him, and it seems like Soma wants to make a bunch of lings and try to put the pressure on. See how many pairs he actually puts out. Okay, only 2 to start. Gonna head directly across the map with those. 2 more. Making their way forward. 4 Lings headed across the map to put on that pressure. And the pressure, I mean, it opens up opportunities to run by, but it also keeps these zealots back. It forces Snow to be conservative with these. Oh, there's an opening on the left. Oh, no. That looked to be a tight wall on the ramp with the zealot probe, but it was not the case. Not able to bring the probe down and try to block behind the mineral patches either. These 4 Lings are going to be a real hassle, and you can bet Soma started Ling speed now. Once those Lings get in, it's going to be so hard to deal with. He's not even going to scout these additional Lings coming across the map. He doesn't really know what he's in for either. Zealot heads out, and it's just going to get nearly surrounded and lose most of its HP. This is a problem. Probe's going down in the main, and, well, we might see Snow just break to pure Ling pressure. His Forge is not even done yet, and he's already dealing a lot of damage to this gateway. He's going to have to micro absolutely perfect in both the main and the natural at the same time while getting this cannon down, and it's not going to be easy. Gateway taking quite a bit of damage. Here comes the Lings from the main, going after the cannon. He almost gets the cannon. No way. 10 HP on that. 2 more hits from a Ling, and he would have had that kill. And bought himself a lot more time to try and initiate this Ling attack. But now the cannon's done. Can he actually get in here and kill it? Oh my gosh, the probe pull is insane. Oh, what a probe pull. What a probe pull there. Perfectly done by Snow to just block this out. 24 HP on that Overlord. If he lost that Overlord, I think Soma might have just left the game at that point. You get blocked with this Ling attack, and you lose the Overlord. You're so cooked. They will kill the cannon now. Manages to slip by. Snow really didn't want to lose the gateway, so he actually let the Lings in. That's unfortunate. There should be drones popping out here from Soma because he wasn't expecting to get that run by off and kill that cannon. So I don't think there's going to be a ton more Lings popping out right now, but there could be. He might be just thinking that I'm screwed if I try to drone out of this and just continuing to make Lings. But now looks like he's making some drones. And this cannon will finish up back at home. It looks like the gateway will stay alive. Probes off the line right now. Ling in the main. Still being a nuisance. He kills his own gateway so he can remake it. I don't know if that was the right call. But Snow decides to make it. Can have a healthier gateway. Doesn't need to worry about that getting busted right away. Tough call to make. A very tough call to make. That's for sure. More hatcheries coming up now. So I'm going to try to find a way out of this situation by droning and possibly checking up here. Ling in the main's got 3 kills on it. It's pretty painful. Probe's gonna come in and get some scouting information. I haven't seen a Corsair just yet or a Stargate just yet. There should be one on the way. I think it might be in the natural. Not 100% on that. Probe slides through. Sees the layer and the Hydroden. This layer just started to make, so still quite a ways away from any sort of Mutalisks coming out. Probably going to be defending here initially with Hydras. Zealot Corsair going to start to put on some pressure. And a cannon in the main will negate this. Ling finally dealing with that. Pretty annoying Ling in the main base. Is there anything here for Soma to stop these overlords from dying? Looks like he's gonna get 2. I think he killed the overlord at the natural already. The one that was super, super low. And so getting 2 quick overlord kills is pretty nice. Can he get any more? Double cannon here back at home. Snow a little bit afraid to push out right now, though. He's waiting for his +1, I imagine, and speed to finish up. The Hydra's starting to pop out here. 6 hatch Hydra. Did make the 3rd gas, but hasn't been mining it. Of course, they're going to fly through and see that. And look at this Snow trying to sneak a base. Is that for real? That's not what I would have expected from him. They're going to have 4 Zealot. 4 Gateway Zealot to come out and try to pressure. But 4 gateways into a 3rd base is generally not a build. You're going to get broken in either your natural or the 3rd if you try something like this. But the hidden base, maybe he gets away with it. And it adds to his advantage. 45 drones. Perfect saturation for 3 bases here from Soma. Only the 1 Hydra. Not quite enough to deal with the Corsairs and their pressure, but... we should be taking a 4th base here in just a moment, right around that 10-minute mark. Grabbing that 4th. We definitely know that there's storms at home for Snow now, so pre-storm bus timing has elapsed. There's no possibility of that right now, and we're going to go into a longer game. Let's see how this goes. We haven't really seen many long games between these two. It's been mostly bus, pre-storm timings out of Soma so far, so let's see how Snow can handle the mid-game here versus Soma. Oh my gosh, he's going to find this. Oh no, the Nexus gets spotted. Worst case scenario here for Snow. This is absolute worst case scenario. Gonna lose that Nexus. This is multiple gateways that could have been made a little bit earlier, and so he would have had a bigger army had he not built this. He would have had, 3-4 gateways with that 400, 500, 600 minerals. 600 minerals is a bit rough. Spending all that money and not getting anything out of it. Trying to move forward here, trying to get some Dragoons out. But the Hydras are just spilling in. Zealots are going to have to fight here. And they do not have the backup that they need. Zealots are just going to die on this low ground if he doesn't bring up some assistance for this. He has to cancel the 3rd again, losing that base. Trying to dive forward here, killing off some High Templar. Oh man, Snow locked into his base, and he's actually behind in supply as well. Mutas are getting made. And so Soma not moving into a quicker 4th base and going for Hive instead. Staying on 3, sticking to that 45 drone count, and just making tons of units. Hydras and Mutas going to be sticking on that layer attack. Snow kind of needs to get this 3rd base up now. And move to that high ground and take it, but Soma's going to have so many units, plus a High Templar sniping force. If the storms aren't absolutely perfect, he's going to be losing this game, man. He's just going to lose too much. Diving right over top of the army. The High Templar are dead now. One more High Templar from the high ground. Ooh, great storm there on the low ground. Is that enough? Secondary storm. Hydras are running through it. Actually, hold on. Snow takes this fight actually with flying colors. More Hydras are coming. There should be another round of Zealots about to pop out. Maybe another High Templar as well. Uh-oh. High Templar storm. Okay, he does lose the High Templar, but he gets the storm. Losing a few more Dragoons here. Manages to slip the probe to high ground. Dragoons and Zealot up on that high ground. Can they hold? Zealot's trying to block the Hydras from coming up here, but they managed to get up on that right-hand side. Targeting down the Zealot. Looks like he's managed it. He's managed to hold on, but barely. More and more Hydras are coming here. Soma has not secured a fourth. He has not secured a fourth, so he's really looking to keep this pressure going. Armor here. Armor upgrade under threat. Snow gonna come down the ramp. Kind of letting go of that high ground is gonna allow the Hydras to get up here and maybe block this third from coming up again. He's trying to target it down. It's got a little bit too much health though. Another base bottom left. Wait, what? He slipped out a base in bottom left. Snow being cheeky. Secondary hidden base is kind of crazy. Probe's trying to transfer down to the bottom right, but they're going to get completely killed. Oh, no. Lost about 10 probes there. And he's being pulled apart once again by Soma. Soma is just too quick with the multitasking. Not able to keep up. I mean, the probe transfer was even early. He didn't need the probe transfer yet. So it's a bit unfortunate for Snow that he sent that out and lost all those probes when he didn't even have the Nexus done at the time. DT going to try to slip in to the main while all this chaos is going on. That actually might give Snow a way back into this game. Hero DT, maybe, just maybe, can help Snow to win this. Let's see if someone picks up on this in time. He's going to lose every drone. Oh, gosh. Every drone going to end up going down here. And Snow's kind of holding back at home. 15 kills. 16 kills. That might save him in this game. That actually might do it. Diving in once again with the mutas, but he's not going to kill all the High Templar. Still, all the storms have been denied for this high ground. Dragoon, cannon, and a few Zealots here. Can it hold against this wave of Hydras? Going to back up, let some more Hydras come up the ramp. Another High Templar makes its way over. Doesn't have energy. It does not have energy for Storm. Can these mutas actually get the kill? They do. He kills the High Templars. Going after the cannon now. Dragoon standing strong, but does he have some more rallies coming? He does. Just barely in time, getting a few rallies over here. High Templar are going to die once again. Probes pulled off the line to just try to hold. And he manages to keep himself alive by the skin of his teeth. Soma's going to be drying up a little bit because he lost all of those drones. Some probes have finally been made over here at the hidden fourth base. And with Snow surviving all of the pressure here, I think he's going to get his first win in the series. Yeah, it's looking like a win now for Snow. Soma is trying desperately to end this game before ever getting onto a fourth. And he actually might have done it had that DT not gotten in. If that DT didn't get into the base and kill all those drones, absolutely screw up the economy, Soma may have been able to just keep rallying Hydras and mutas and actually crush him. Crush this third. And push Snow back onto 2 bases. I guess he still would have had the hidden base, but there are not that many probes over there. Eventually, Snow would have run out of money in his main and natural, so the trickle of income coming in from that hidden fourth would have been so low. Might not have mattered. It's now becoming, the trickle has now become a bit of a torrent. The flow has been turned up. coming from that base. Dive once again with the High Templar. With the Mutas onto the High Templar. A bunch of High Templar are going to die. Dude, Soma is so good with this control. The Mutalist control is a work of art, truly. Killing so many High Templar. Oh my god, he gets almost every High Templar. We'll have to cancel. Natural under threat right now. A lot of Hydras here. Can he get a Storm? Oh. Gets a Storm, but loses the High Templar. Mutas, are they going to find bottom left? Oh my goodness. He's checking down here, but he's not checking that other main. And so Snow, he's going to get away with this for a really long time. May even want to start adding cannons over there, actually. Start building up a bunch of cannons, because eventually Soma will see that. And you don't want that to end up dying. Like, it's paying for itself. It's paid for itself many times over already. There it is. He sees it. Yeah, doesn't have cannons here yet. Just started the first one now. He's going to move over to try and defend that base with an army. Soma going to counter, it looks like. Counterattack is coming. Picking off more High Templar in the middle of the map. Oh, High Templar here. Just wandering out. Oh my gosh, you really needed those for the defense. Up on this high ground next to the cannons or at the natural would have been good. Someone knows he's in a bit of a dicey spot with 4 base Protoss versus his 4 base. It's not a good situation. But he's trying to pull Snow this way and that. Try to force him to react. Try to move around the map. And defend this base down in the bottom left. A lot of Hydras coming down here. Mutas gonna aggress, generally speaking. Sticking on layer tech versus a 4 base Protoss player is really difficult. Not recommended. But when the 4 bases are spread out this far, sometimes you can find a way in. And as long as he keeps him below 4 bases, he should be okay to just stick with this style. Keep sniping High Templars. Keep on breaking positions. He could still be okay in this game. He's not able to kill this 4th, but he kills every probe at the location. Resets the mining at that spot. Snow gonna try to take 6 o'clock. Soma's smaller and smaller army is getting a little bit more desperate here, looking for those High Templar snipes. With 4 gases, the amount of High Templar is starting to get a little bit out of control. Seems like however many he manages to snipe, there's always more High Templar with more Storm available. I just come down here. Try to look for kills on Dragoons, but Snow not giving him the engage that he wants. What's the army doing? Oh my gosh, we're gonna lose all the probes here again. I just getting a lot of value. Over at that bottom left. However, 4 gas, 4 base Protoss is not to be messed with. The number of High Templars coming out is overwhelming. The number of storms that Soma has to deal with at this point. It's going to be kind of untenable to stick to layer tech. Has he tried to switch into some sort of a hive play? We haven't gotten a shot of the main for a long time, so I'm not really sure. I think he's just desperately trying to get a kill. And he will not get down this ramp. Hydras get trapped. This may be the tap out moment. He's done a very reasonable job of pulling Snow this way and that. But the DT bought just enough time for Snow to really stabilize and defend all these bases. And now that Soma hasn't broken it and he doesn't have a backup plan, I think he's going to have to tap out. There it is. The final mutas die. And there it is. He taps out. No GG. Soma just leaves the game. Maybe he was in ally chat or something like that. He might have typed GG, but a win is a win nonetheless, no matter how many hidden bases you have to hide. No matter how many Templar are sniped. As long as you have those extra gases, you can pull through. Snow finally puts one on the board, saving us from a complete dominant performance here from Soma. He's at least managed to take a single map. Can he make a comeback now and give Soma a run for his money and give us a really serious series here for our first time back, the first series back with the Soup Duel series? I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I hope Snow can actually bring it and make a bit of a comeback happen. I don't know if he can take a win now in this best of 9. I mean, he has to play absolutely perfect, and he's got to be a little bit crazy too. The hidden bases were crazy in that game, but he needs more like that if he wants to keep getting wins. We're ready to go, guys. Channel your inner royal. Channel your inner mini. Snow, try to throw Soma for a loop and do something crazy. That might be what it takes to bring this series back. We're ready to jump into it, guys. Roaring Currents, aka Screaming Sea. Old Muck is our next map. What's turned out to be a pretty Protoss favored map, or excuse me, Zerg favored map. What we thought was going to be a very Protoss favored map. Let's see it. Here we go. Snow. Spawning bottom left. And of course, Soma in top right. Uldolmok. Roaring Currents, Screaming Sea, whatever you want to call it. It's been a fun and interesting map. It's given us a lot of great games. It feels like Zerg has the advantage on the balance after everything's been played out. The ASL and all the tournaments that we've had, at least recently, does feel like Zerg tends to be dominant on this map. I wonder if Snow is going to go for a Reaver play again. Is he going to try it? I think that Soma is one of the best at shutting that down. And I've seen him shut out these air-based plays in multiple ways. He's capable of basically everything. And I've even seen him go Queens with Ensnare into Hive, Devour, and just Mass Muta. Just full-on air Zerg is incredibly strong when played to perfection. Like, very difficult to, you know, have the right mix of units, land the ensnares that you need, clear the Corsairs with Scourge and Devours and Mutas properly so that you don't take bad trades, and then avoid the storms and maelstroms and all that stuff that can be used against you. But Soma has the prowess. He's got the APM to make all that happen. And so if Snow wants to get rowdy here, if he wants to try some crazy build, go air or mass reaver or whatever, Soma's going to be able to meet him on his level. We had a gateway out of Snow. So Snow builds a gateway. He could go forge here. He actually built the Nexus. He built the Nexus, so he can't go forge now. But he is going to put on the pressure. It's 3 hatch before pool. If there was an opportunity to go gateway here, or excuse me, forge here, I think that Snow should have taken it. Build cannons in the natural. Just build cannons in the natural and bring a zealot up. And the drones that are going to have to be pulled to fight the cannon are going to just melt to the probe zealot. And then you get the cannons up, block the natural. Becomes a very hard game for the Zerg player to contend with. As it stands, he's just going to come in here, put on some pressure. You can see it, the Lings are just about to start. So he's going to have to fight this with the drones. Oh my gosh, he's just not letting the Zealot attack. That's crazy. Doing a lot of damage to it, but only getting rid of the shield so far. Okay, gonna lose a drone for sure. There it is. First drone goes down. 2 drones. Can he get a third? He's dealing a lot of damage. 3 drones is a huge amount. Definitely evening things out from the 3 hatchery opener. 3 hatch before pool. Just gives you an opportunity to make a lot of drones. It gives you a lot of early larva and access to these extra mineral patches, but with all the drones that have been killed, he's not going to be able to take as much advantage of that extra larva as he otherwise would have been able to. Snow made that first zealot and then just went fully into economy here and teching, so was assuming that that zealot would die, but that it would get some amount of damage. It was right. The follow-up here may be pretty powerful for Snow. Not even made it, like, he's only got 1 more zealot, so he really cut zealots hard in favor of getting all this tech out. Second zealot's gonna be popping up here soon. A lot of Lings. Over there to the side. He's even making more Lings. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, he's gonna Ling all in. Wait. If Snow just sits here and does nothing, he's probably gonna win this game. I mean, a second cannon would be helpful, but a probe pull is really all he needs. Second cannon starts. 3rd zealot pops out. Zealots are gonna be taking a very good trade here in this wall. Really hard to cut through these zealots. Can he make another building? Oh, great. Throwing down a forge here. Really good building placement there. It's going to cut through these lines of Lings making their way across the map. The probe's trying to block. He's doing such a good job. Oh my gosh, what an insane probe block. About as perfect as it gets when it comes to the defense of a Ling all-in. Soma did a good job of targeting and getting the Lings to actually attack in that really tight choke. But there's only so much you can do. More and more Lings are coming, but the probes are off the line and blocking, and 2 cannons here is gonna be enough. GG. Soma Ling all in does not pay off. We got another win on the board for Snow. There it is, boys. He's bringing it back. Getting antsy on Roaring Currents. I wouldn't have expected it from Soma. Like that map really seems to be favored for Zerg, but I guess losing 3 drones in the early game, he felt like it was going to be hard. He felt like maybe Snow was cutting too hard He was cutting too many units, cutting too much Zealot production, and maybe he could break that. Looks like we've lost visual. There it is. A W on the board for Snow, bringing us almost to an even series. That is shocking. Wow, okay. We're about ready to get in this next one, guys. Let me just update this. All right, guys. We're ready to go. We're ready to hop into our next game. Game number 6. Snow tries to bring back the series. Will he be able to continue this comeback on Litmus? Very tricky map. Nice mix of maps from the past. You got that Dark Origin feel to it. Tends not to go long. Tends to be a map where we see a lot of fireworks early on. See if that's the case here as well. Snow spawning in bottom right. On his comeback journey. We got Soma here, top right. Looking to close out the series. Spanish caster just let me know that for this series, the players are earning $80 per win. $80 per win for each game. Snow already getting $160 for himself. Can he earn some more here? Can he take out Soma again? I'm sure that the $80 is tempting for them. Is a nice sweetener here for joining this series, but the ability to get some revenge probably the thing that is bringing Snow to the board, is bringing Snow in, tempting him to join here. Oh, double gateway. Double gateway versus 9 pool. Not the best situation here for Snow, but we'll see if Soma commits to building a lot of lings. He's going to be a little light on larva overall. Drone heading out on the map. Looks like he's going to come to the 3rd and take that base instead. That's actually a very good scenario for Snow. 6lings, yes, are going to pop immediately, which is a bit of a problem. Definitely a problem. And Snow's going to see, or sorry, Soma's going to see the double gateway here shortly, which is also going to be a bit of an issue. Means that he knows that he should just keep building lings and possibly go for ling speed. Gonna come over here and block the ramp. 1 probe, 1 zealot, and then there's gonna be 2 zealots popping out here in a moment. Try and fight this back. 1 probe, 1 zealot. Oh, there's a gap on the right-hand side. Oh my goodness, it was not a perfect block there on the top of the ramp. Making a big mistake there. Snow in a lot of trouble, loses his first zealot. And now with lings in the main base, this 2 gate may not be paying off for him, man. More lings popping out. Tracking down this probe as well. He won't be able to confirm how many more lings are coming and whether or not there's a Mutalisk play on the way. Whether or not there's a layer coming. And in fact, there is a layer now. I believe he got speed before this. I don't see why you wouldn't get speed first. In fact, I think he just spent that money now. Okay, he got speed second. So speed's not going to come online for a little bit. Maybe Soma back at home just gets his third hatchery out. And goes for a Muta timing. Just try to get Mutas out as quickly as possible. That might be the plan. Maybe even 2 hatch Muta? Is that possible? It's going to be very hard for Snow to deal with that. Doesn't even have a Nexus down. But he's teching right now. So he's going to try and get a Corsair out right away. I think Soma's going to be on pace to get Scourge in time for this Corsair. So this is interesting. Both players teching really hard. And it's almost like a really old school ZVP, what we're having right now. Zerg sticking on 2 base and going directly into tech, and Protoss sticking on 1 base. Trying to get his tech out also. Let's see who's better in a situation like this. Because Soma has full information as to what's being done by Snow. He should be able to react to it perfectly. Whereas Snow just has no idea what's coming. There's a lot of lings coming up right now. A lot of lings on the way. He sees that. Not quite enough to actually challenge him. Not quite enough lings to just come over here and fight this Zealot army. But enough lings to keep him nervous. Like, he doesn't want to go out on the map right now and risk these running by. Maybe even killing that pylon. Trying to get a probe out to the natural. Oh, nice block with the Dragoon. He was trying to prevent the Nexus from coming down at the natural. He's going to dive on these probes now. Looks like they'll all die. But he got about 2-3 probes, something like that. Not bad. Here comes the Corsair. Will he... Oh, a run by. Oh my gosh, the block was almost perfect. 2 lings make their way onto the high ground. He almost perfectly blocked that. Corsair heading in. Is it going to get killed by a Scourge immediately? I think it might lose his life to a Scourge. Scourge are actually ahead of the Corsair. And so he should be able to suddenly turn back around and hit that. He did get it. Saw it on the mini-map. First Corsair goes down to a pair of Scourge. That's rough. Now the Mutas are coming in. There's only 1 Dragoon here. That's not enough. Corsairs need to come over and try to help out. I'm going to bring that Corsair up now. But with 5 Mutas, you're not going to win this fight. You need to get cannons up back at home. Get the Dragoons in here to try and save. 1 more Corsair about to pop out. Cannon going to go down. Needs to make some more cannons here. Try to save this. Zealots counter-attacking. 1 Muta in there is not going to deal a lot of damage, but the lings are popping out in mass and breaking this down. Soma very low on drones. Oh! Got the Corsair. Big kill there. Getting rid of that. Will open up the ability to maybe shut down this cannon again. Cannon's going to fall. Probe's trying to transfer, but they're losing their lives here. The continued harassment from these pesky Mutalisks going after the photon cannon. More lings coming in, bouncing back and forth. Another Corsair pops out, but it's just going to be targeted down. Okay, this is some pretty good moves from the Snow. Preventing the Mutas from just going after this. Oh my gosh, so many probes though. So many probes. 18 probes remain. This is some amazing harassment. This is what I talk about. Now, this is what I think about when I think about Soma. It's just the insane Mutalist harassment. The insane Mutalist control that he has, that he brings to the table. It's really unmatched, and he's done so much damage to Snow in this game. I don't see him stabilizing. Cannons are coming up, and more Corsairs are popping out, but 17 probes is hard to come back from, guys. It really is. Behind this, Soma is droning. He also doesn't have very good saturation, but he's getting there with 29 workers. He's going to be able to pump out a lot. And he's going to continue to be super annoying with these mutas. Killing off any probes right now is a bit of a death sentence. And he's just going to ignore the Corsairs and go after even more probes. 16 probes, guys. 16 probes. Ah, another Corsair goes down as well. 14 probes now. It's all but over. It's all over but the crying. What a shame here for Snow. Wanted to try the double gateway play versus Soma, but ran into a pretty direct counter. I'm gonna try to attack in now. Just see if he can't just fight him. Maybe he overmade drones in this moment. Maybe there's a chance for this army to do something, but no. Hydras, excuse me, Lings and Mutas come in, completely surrounding this army. And Snow will have to tap out. GG! A nice little game on Litmus. Scrappy game. Highly teched out. But another win racked up here for Soma. Put a W on the board here. We can get ready for Polestar. What's going on, Angel? Thanks for dropping by the soup chat. Three wins back-to-back for Snow coming up. I'd love to see it. Nobody would be more excited for that than me. $80 per win for these two players in the best of 9. This is going to be the ASL 21 finals too. It could happen. If Snow stays on his game and keeps improving, keeps working hard. There's a lot of great players out there right now, but these two are really something special. I'm not sure what's going on with my background. It keeps cutting out. It's kind of funny. I never used this one before. It's weird that it has a bit of like downtime before it resets. It's generally not supposed to happen. Here we go. We're ready. Game number 7 with Snow spawning here in the top right. Got Soma in the bottom left. Time for that comeback. Not going to be the 2 gateway play though, again, I imagine. Snow going to have to fall back on some more... a little bit more normality. Try to get... a Nexus first out or something like that, I imagine. I'm surprised he would want to mine this, actually. Maybe he only mines it once. That might be the play. Space tile set. The ramps are very large. That's why we have the mineral patch there to make the ramp slightly smaller. Definitely better to get rid of the mineral patch later on when dragons and stuff are trying to get out of the base, but mining that out early tends to be not such a great idea. Ling run by. It's a lot harder to deal with when you can't just block with 1 probe, 1 zealot. Snow checks top center to see if there's an overlord heading his way. He doesn't see it. Gonna go ahead and check bottom right. Gateway in the front. I don't think we've seen Snow win with a gateway first yet. Gateway. Oh, except on Roaring Currents. Never mind. On Screaming Sea, he was able to get that win, but that was a special case. It's an overpool build from Soma. Here on Polestar. Looking for his 5th win of the series. Another $80 in the pocket. If he can pull it off. It's a lot of money for a single game, guys, and it takes a lot to raise that type of capital. Got to give it up for StarCastTV for putting this together. For raising those funds and making this happen. They've been doing it for a very long time. And I'm sure he's looking forward to making another season of SCSL, but he needs your support. Make sure to check the links in the description. We've got Soma here taking bottom center. I don't know if the probe actually saw that. I feel like it did. Not 100% though. Link speed starts. Link speed before layer. Celt probe on the ramp this time. Hopefully not leaving a bit of a gap. We've seen Snow leave that gap over and over again. Making just that small little error that allows Lings to get in. Can't be making that mistake anymore. He's on the cusp of losing this best of 9. Not quite good enough to block on the ramp there. Bro manages to slip by. Like a greased up deaf guy. Slides right into the base. Scouts everything. Sees that there's Ling speed as well. With that knowledge. Going into this mid game. Or I guess early mid-game. Really wants to know if there's a Hydra bus coming. That's what he's most worried about here, I'd say. Also, of course, on his mind, the possibility of mutas coming in and pulling him apart again. There's the Spire. Is there a Hydra Den as well? Not quite yet. Not quite yet with the Hydra Den. Let's keep an eye on that third gas and see if he decides to grab that right off the bat. Or if he wants to mix it up here. Stick with mutas, maybe Ogre Zerg him. Needs to make a few more links to deal with this 6 Zealot attack. 6 Zealot timing. Pretty annoying to deal with an attack like this, but just need the proper amount of lings with a reasonable surround. Should be able to deal with it. He's managed to lodge himself into a bit of a corner. Snow gonna go all the way back into this spot here and try to take the best fight that he possibly can. He should lose this. But the more lings he kills, the better off he is. It's like just letting the Zealots do their thing while controlling this extra Zealot running into the natural, and manages to get a kill. One more. Oh, he got 2 kills. Nice. 2 kills on drones is pretty big. Looking for an Overlord. Looks like he's gonna find it as well. So this is a good start, a very good start for Snow. Third gas is on the way for Soma at the third base. I think we're going to see a lot of mutas and Scourge popping out. Snow's going to need extra cannons in the main. They're going to need an extra cannon at the natural. Continuous Corsair production and perfect Corsair micro as well. If he wants to withstand this. Another Zealot trying to find its way into this third. Looks like he actually will get up here. Gonna get a drone. Oh, so close. Can he target that one? Nope. Manages to run away. Gonna bail out on that right-hand side. Trying to slip around the back here. Gonna take the best trade possible against these lings. It will eventually be cleaned up. Big round of mutas being made, and armor for those mutas is coming online. Triple cannon in main. Extra cannon there at the natural as well, making sure that he's very safe against an Ogre Zerg play. Soma not making an overcommitment to mutas, though, it seems. He's just made a few to deal with Zealots and maybe give him the option to dive in on a cannon, but he doesn't seem particularly all in with this. I'd say with the additional hatchery coming up in the main base and the Hydralisk Den already done, I think we're going to have a big round of Hydras popping out of Soma here soon, and potential for a 4th base in just a moment. Let me just come through. Looking for some damage. Dark Archon has not been spotted. Snow. Gonna rely on that as his anti-Mutalisk. We haven't seen Dark Archon yet in this series, which is a little bit surprising, but we'll see if it ends up playing a big role here in this game. Zealots try to get in and get a little damage going, but he's not willing to commit. Oh, Dark Archon, is it going to get spotted? He sees High Templar. High Templar going to get picked off here. That's a bit of a sad loss. still. How long is he from? Okay, 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds and Maelstrom will be ready. Trying to hide that Dark Archon as long as possible. He loses the Corsair. Oh, no. You saw only one Corsair and he just killed it. Maybe he makes another round of mutas, actually. This could be good for Snow. If Soma sees the lack of Corsairs and feels like there's an opening to make a bunch more mutas, maybe he makes a whole bunch of mutas and they get caught by this Maelstrom. Oh, he just started Maelstrom upgrade. So, now that he has the energy, he's got to wait for the Maelstrom upgrade. It's going to take a while. Is he going to see this? Oh my gosh. Spanish caster doing a great job with the observing here today. Oh, I think he might have saw it. I think he saw it there. I'm not sure if he registered or if he was looking at it at the screen at that moment. He might not have been. It might still be a mystery. But we know he had the opportunity to see it if his screen was in the right place. Just a split second, but that might have been enough. Here comes the army from Snow. He's going to try to move forward and take his third. Fourth base coming up center left for Soma. Mutas looping around the back. Not a huge amount of mutas, though. In fact, it might not even be worth it to Maelstrom and storm this. Might want to save that for the Hydras as they try to run up and snipe High Templar, fight this army. Might be holding back some additional mutas over to the side and looking to bait out that Maelstrom. Okay, there's the big force of mutas that's moving out now. If that whole army gets Maelstromed and he gets the storm in, Snow could very quickly win this game, but he's even on supply right now, so he has to take a very good fight. He's stuck in the middle of the map, and army is looping around the back. Storm. Oh my goodness, what a storm. All the Hydras die. Natural is under threat. Moving over towards this third now. Archon here to defend. But that's a lot of Hydras moving into position. He's going to go right up onto the high ground. Here he comes, hitting from all sides. Is Snow. He's kind of trapping these Hydras over here. And you know what? He can't really attack into this army. Not with the Mutalisk. Not with the Archon here, the Dark Archon, ready to just Maelstrom all that down. So he kills all the Hydras. Every Hydra dies, and the Nexus survives. I hesitate to say it, but I think this looks good for Snow. This is annoying. Can he get the Maelstrom down? Maelstrom! Oh, can't get it. So many. Muta's just harassing that mineral line, but he was not able to get the spell that he needed to shut that down. Still a big threat on the map with those mutas flying around, looking for High Templars to snipe. Snow gonna move to potentially take another base center right. Get his fourth up before the natural or the main start to run out. Mutas coming in for some more harassment. Once again, killing off so many probes, man. 37 workers? It's crazy how much damage Soma's able to do with this. Hydra's flowing through the map, looking for little bits of damage here and there. Sell it at top center. Maelstrom not able to get off again, not able to get that connection. Hydra slipped by and are going to be able to kill out at least one of these cannons. Base top left. Starting to get established. There's the big Maelstrom. Second Maelstrom. Does he have energy for it? He does. He has the energy for that second Maelstrom. Doesn't want to cast Storm, though, because of the High Templar there. He needs it. He needs that High Templar for another Storm here on the Hydras. He throws them down. He kills most of the Mutas, but he loses a lot of his own High Templar. A lot of Dragoons as well go down. Army on the right-hand side, pushing everything back. Still on layer tech. No fourth base yet for the Protoss, though, so it's still viable. Still okay right now for Soma. Are we going to see another Dark Archon? Whoa, Lurkers coming up. I think the Dark Archon's still alive. I don't think it got picked off. Or did it? Did it actually die during that last fight? I haven't seen it here for a moment. Oh, a Zealot slips by into center left. He's getting some kills over there. Meanwhile, pushing through the middle of the map. Soma got to pay attention on multiple fronts here. Trying to defend top left. Trying to move army through the middle of the map. He's making some mistakes. Some Lurkers run in and die for free. Snow soaking up those free kills. And balling his army for the next attack. He does still have the Dark Archon alive. Gotta keep it back at home until it has some more energy. In order to use that again, Lurkers en masse moving out. Still no hive play from Soma. Probably gonna have to make a move for that pretty soon. Center right is being taken. Snow with 4 bases. Should have the advantage against the layer tech Zerg. Triple cannon on a high ground with 2 storms and a couple zealots is going to be enough to hold everything back for now. Good number of defenders at each of these bases, plus the roaming army of Snow is keeping Soma back. Where is the observer? There it is. Does have that ready. Not going to use the Maelstrom there on those Mutas. Just a couple of them flying in, so no need for that. Casting it on some Hydras instead, and looking to try to push through this Lurker line that's just been set up. Here we go, taking this fight now. Big surround from Soma, hitting on multiple angles. Good pullbacks the moment that those storms come out. Making a few Archons and continuing to push ahead. He's forced the army into a position directly in front of him. Gonna look for a storm on these Lurkers here that are stacked. Storms on these bottom Hydras as well. The full surround is coming through. Can Snow stand and fight? 2-2 is done on these Lurkers, but he won't get any further until the hive is finished. Snow gonna have better upgrades than him if he doesn't already soon. Army moving over towards this top right. Of course, there's no Nidus. So breaking up onto the high ground is a real possibility. Killing that top left base should be a priority here for Snow. Could also try to go for the center left, but we'll see. He's making his way up onto the high ground now. Pushing forward here. Lurkers on the right. Trying to get into position, but the storms will be very punishing as they try to come forward. Runs up with the Lurkers. Cannot burrow here because the storms would be too brutal. And so he will be forced back. Zealot's going to be rotated to the left-hand side. Try to push up that ramp now. While the Dragoons and High Templars hold off the Lurker army coming up on the right. Storms and Dragoon fire dealing with a lot of this stuff. Just standing strong and holding position here. Snow taking a lot of damage from the Hydras now. Has to throw down storms to push this back. Archon on a hold position, just tanking a ton of damage, but it gets targeted down immediately by Soma. Soma running forward here, getting what kills he can on the Dragoons before reinforcements arrive. Army's getting very small from Snow. Hardly has anything left to try and push the issue. May want to turn around and reconvene this army. Shame that he didn't push into top left, try to kill that base, because now this base is getting more well established, has some sunken colonies, and will shortly have a Nidus to make it impossible to break that, or next to impossible to get up onto that high ground. Snow may have missed his window to end this game. DT comes over here. Gonna kill a lot of drones, actually. Soma not paying attention as he goes for a counter over towards that center right. Ton of kills here. Has done a great job with that DT. Getting in is how he's managed to get some of his wins so far. I guess one of his wins came from that DT run by. And this might have just given him the momentum that he needs to break one of these bases. He's heading over towards top left. Someone not responding to this just yet. I don't think he has vision on that. But as soon as the army arrives here at the bottom of the ramp, he's going to have to start to move. Setting up the Nidus. I'm not sure if it's ready yet. It should be ready, but the ramp has already been breached. Big moment here as the army gets up. Where's the Nidus? There it is. Nidus in the back corner. Army coming up onto the high ground. A lot of Hydra pop through, but with Maelstrom plus Storm doing a lot of damage here, may be able to just ravage this base. He's is going to kill a lot of drones. Get some really fantastic storms there. And we'll be reinforcing this shortly. Another round of Zealots and Dragoons making their way up to this army. More Archons being made here. Most of the High Templars stayed alive during that last fight. Maelstrom on the center of these lurkers and lings making their way forward. Doesn't follow that up with a storm, but the Dragoon fire is cleaving through this army. More Dragoons making their way up here. Still no Defiler in sight for Soma, and he might be too late with that critical unit. Not having Defiler here might have been the death of Soma. It might be the death of him yet. Hydras and Lurkers still spilling through the Nidus Canal. But storms are in range of this mineral line, and so he can kind of push in a little bit. Look for storms on those drones and Hydras that are coming up to defend, and then kind of back up a little bit. Not quite ready to break this position. There's so many Hydras up here, but this overall supply is starting to look grim for Soma. 70 supply advantage here for Snow as he continues this push. No counterattacks going on right now for Soma. It's all about this top left base. He's trying to keep that alive with everything he can. Finally, the Defiler pops out here at 22 minutes. It's too late. Lurkers are going to end up going down in their eggs. Storms on the mineral line again. As Snow tries to push forward, he can still target down the sunken colonies with his Dragoons. And the Sunkens are not able to deal damage under this Dark Swarm alert. Archons pushing up. The Hydras can't do any damage to them under that Dark Swarm, and those Lurkers that were killed in their eggs. The final defense of Soma has been torn apart. This base is going to die, and there's no backup plan here for our Zerg player. He's gonna have to tap out once this falls. There it is. GG is called. Snow bringing it back here, bringing us to a closer series once again. 3-4 as he clutches this one out. Push into the top left. Turned out to be the right call. The Maelstrom helped to make that happen. He's been getting pulled apart by mutas, and it feels like an essential to get Maelstrom versus a player like Soma. He's just so good at dancing around the preemptive storms and getting the damage regardless of what you do to try and stop it. Getting that Maelstrom is a direct counter. It allows the Protoss to push without fear of just losing every High Templar. It makes the Zerg be a little bit more tentative about doing those dives. And so Snow managing to take it a little bit late. It's a surprise that Soma didn't go for a quicker hive, though, in that game. He should have had Defilers so much earlier. They certainly came out late, and he ended up having to throw a lot of Lurkers and Hydras against the wall of Storm, kind of funneling them in order to hold back the Protoss army, to buy time for the Defiler to pop out. Such a game-changing unit. But it came a bit too late for Soma. We're ready, guys, to jump into our next game. I'll let the Spanish casters know we can get this started. Let's see it. Can Snow get this win? Bring us to an even game 9. And an epic finisher. That's what the people want to see. Thanks for hanging out in the chat, guys. Those of you on Super Live. Appreciate the support. Just coming to hang out while I do this live. The VODs are going to be up half on my channel, Saiyan KCM, and half on StarCastTV. 4 casts per week is what we're aiming for. And so 2 on my channel, 2 on StarCastTV, and all of them will be streamed live on SCTV EN, so you guys can come check it out here. Same time every single day. Same time as the series today, 10 a.m. Korean Standard Time. And I'll be putting up the schedule after this cast. All right, guys. It's time. Game number 8 here. With Soma top left and Snow bottom left. Metropolis. $80 per win means both players are going home with a nice little payout today. But who will get the satisfaction of winning this series? Soma's on the cusp, and he has been for a little while. Just needs that one more win to clinch it. However, Snow's not going to make it easy for him. That's for sure. Going to take every opportunity to try and bring this to a game number 9, an even series in game number 9. How will he open this one? It looks like a forge. All right, forge expansion from Snow. Overpool once again from Soma. It's gonna get that hatch down uncontested. Oh, actually, this is a 9 pool. Excuse me, guys. 9 pool here from Soma. I didn't see if there was an extractor trick there, but he's got the 9 pool. He's got the lings coming. Double cannon. And he's going to let it finish this time. Snow might want to throw down a gateway. Try and block this up a little bit more. Maybe cancel afterwards. Nope. It's fine. Soma turns around when he sees this. Gonna have to come back and assist the drone while it takes this third base. Probe is being annoying as per usual. So this feels pretty good for Snow. I mean, we had a game earlier where Soma opened 9 pool and wasn't able to force the double cannon, which was quite a bit worse. Forcing the double cannon slows everything down here for Snow, but opening 9 pool and not really getting any damage. It does feel a little bit bad. At least he keeps all the lings alive, though, and he's tracking down this probe. If he can keep enough attention here to knock down the probe, prevent it from scouting any further, then he's really going to make it hard for Snow to figure out what's coming next. Another probe, I think, just got sent out. Snow realizes that Soma's not going to relent with these lings. This probe will eventually go down, so he sends out a secondary probe to go get the full scout. I love it from him. This is very smart stuff, and you can see Soma just not ready for that. Too focused on taking care of that other probe has allowed the full scout here. Full information. Snow even going to slip out on the left-hand side and make it hard to kill this probe on the exit. Can he actually pick that up? Doesn't look like it. Looks like the probe will make it home. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Just barely makes it home. 4 HP. Should be a solid game here. Full information on either side. This Overlord scouts everything that's going on in Snow's base. Snow saw everything going on in Soma's base, and he's going to have this Corsair here to get the confirmation in a moment. Hydrodan. Did that Zealot really not get spotted? I was so close. Zealot's actually going to make its way over to the third. This is a very good start for Snow. Confirmation with the probe. Sees everything. Zealot sneaks around the outside while the lings are chasing that probe. And makes his way into the third. Oh my god, he gets it. He gets the kill. That's crazy. Kills a drone. This is excellent, excellent work for the first Zealot. 2 Zealots making their way into the natural. Oh my gosh, he's pulling them apart, guys. You don't expect to see this in a Snow versus Soma game. Like, we haven't seen this all series, but he's actually doing a great job right now of pulling Soma this way and that. He doesn't really get the kills on drones in the main and natural, but he sees the... Oh my gosh, is he going Reaver? Oh, no way. No way. Double Stargate Reaver. That's absolutely wild. This might actually work out pretty good for Snow because I think there's going to be a pre-storm Hydra timing coming up for Soma, which means that if he's trying to, if he comes over here and tries to break and there's just a Reaver sitting here with 4 cannons, I don't think you're going to get in there. Reaver pops out a lot faster than the Storm. And I don't think he's scouted this. Guys, I think this could be a huge opportunity for Snow. It's, again, very difficult to pull off. And he's already tried it once this series when it didn't end up working. But let's see. Let's see if he can make it happen in game number 8. That's a lot of Corsairs, so he should be able to bat away the Scourge and bring this Reaver to bear. Hydras are popping out. Does he know about this? He's got Hydras in his main waiting. So I feel like he's got an inkling of what's happening right now. Look at all the Lings spread out everywhere. Does he have burrow? I think he might be burrowing Lings everywhere. As ever, this build relies on the first bit of damage. You need to get in there and deal some good damage here to make this work. He sees the double Stargate. This first attempt is so important. Can he get in with the Reaver and do something? Actually get something going here. He kills a couple of Overlords. Looking to fly in right now. Completely denied. Corsairs are taking a lot of damage. Gonna drop behind the mineral line. He's going for it. Ooh. Dud. On the first Scarab. Nice pickup. Triple kill on the Hydras. Not sure what that's all about. Killing the Ling, I suppose. Hydra's absolutely everywhere. Shutting this down with flying colors so far. Soma's taken almost no damage. And Snow's going to have a hard time getting this third base online. That's the real struggle with this build, is getting the third base. That's why you need this damage. You need to get damage so that the Zerg player is busy recovering while you take your third. Okay. 2 drone kills, some Hydras. More micro here at the ramp. A lot of Overlords gonna go down. Oh my goodness, getting too close with the Overlords. You don't need the Overlords here. It's not like there's DTs. You pull those Overlords back. That's a lot of damage. There we go. Gonna go for another shot here, but the Hydra's blocking. Dudding that Scarab, and maybe Snow can take the third now. Maybe it's possible. Snow finally able to show off his excellent Reaver control. And is switching into a gateway build afterwards. We may see like a bunch of Dragoons pop out and try to push the issue to follow this up. Reaver Dragoon could be a really punishing build to follow up with. Try to break one of these bases. He may not even go for a third. That's possible. He may just stick to 2 base. Force Soma into making only Hydras. And then suddenly show up with a really big clutch of Dragoons. And about 4 Reavers. Could be very hard to handle. We'll see how that goes. It'll really be up to the engagement. It'll be very important how he engages with that. He finished extra damage. The damage upgrade has come through on the Reavers, so he's got that extra 25 damage that he can rip through a lot of these Hydras. All right, loses a Corsair. He's still got a good clutch of Corsairs, though. He's gonna try and take this third now. It is tough. Trying to take the third. Has he done enough damage? Has he grown enough to take this? He's got a lot of dragons popping out. He's actually moving around the other side with the Reavers right now. He doesn't have them in position. If he had the Reavers and Corsairs here right now, I think he would be absolutely fine, but unfortunately not in the right spot. Brings the Reavers up. Does shove this back. I think he gets the third, guys. I think he's going to get it. Hard to break that now. Corsair number's still a little bit too high, I think, for a Mutalist switch. Lurker's not going to be good. Mutalist not going to be good. Okay, maybe. Okay. Muta's really... Is he going to get armor 2 or something like that? He might go Carapace, Air Carapace 2. So the Mutas can fight really well. Corsair number is still pretty high, I feel. It's going to be hard to kill with Mutas. But he can try to dive. Like, he can watch where the Corsairs go. And if the Corsairs ever leave the Reavers alone, maybe he can just dive with the Mutas and kill the Reavers and then just take over. He's going to go for it now. Look, here's no Corsairs at this location. He goes after the shuttle. Shuttle is down. But he doesn't take the opportunity to dive on those Reavers. And so, with the Mutas being revealed, I think Snow's going to be pretty careful with how he takes his next engage. I was wondering if he was going to do this. Move to the left side and then take the fight from this left. Because I feel like the real danger for the Reaver player is getting surrounded. Doesn't want to get surrounded. So if he pushes up onto this high ground and then goes towards the natural... okay, this is a pretty good surround for Soma. Some Scourge get in and get some hits, but the Corsair number's still pretty high. Is he going to continue going forward here? No, he's pulling back. Wants to be a little bit safe. I really thought he might go up onto this high ground on the left-hand side and then down and in towards the natural so that he could take a one-directional fight with all the Zerg units on the one side of him and no ability to wrap around and surround this army. He's coming up onto the high ground. Is he going to put a Nexus down? Oh my god, he put the Nexus down. He loses it. Oh, no cancel. No cancel is a little bit rough. Looks like he's going to get some of these Mutas, but a lot of the Corsairs end up dying too. That's painful. Kind of crazy to put the Nexus up there, but he really wanted to try it. Forced the Zerg into fighting him on that high ground, but now it's going to be difficult to get another probe over here. Maybe time to pick up a probe in the shuttle. Bring it along. He really does need some more Corsairs too, because I think we're going to see Soma switch back into Mutas. More Mutas get made now that the Corsair count is so low. Fourth base is up. He's sticking to layer tech, so definitely another round of Mutas likely to come out. There's no real reason to go Lurker here. Lurker is not going to... Okay, he actually makes Lurker. Lurker's not good against Reavers, guys. Reavers outrange Lurkers, and they kill them in 2 shots. And so... just playing defensively with Lurkers is not going to work. DT makes his way into the top right. This is huge. Oh, is he going to touch the hatchery? No, the hatchery gets attacked. He could have killed every drone. Soma's so busy elsewhere. If he didn't alert him, he could have killed every drone at this base. As it stands, though, he manages to pull and save the majority. Storms. That's some nice storms. Oh my goodness. These are some really good storms to bat away the Mutas. A lot of these High Templars die, but there are Reavers in here as well. Corsairs! No, the Corsairs! You can't be losing all the Corsairs! Oh my gosh. Diving in and trying to kill the Reavers. Crazy. A lot of Hydras go down here to the splash damage. But it's such a shame that he lost all those Corsairs just now. Another Mutalisk. Another round of Mutalisk could potentially break him. Where are the Reavers? Oh my god, he pulled the Reavers back. Gonna have to drop here. He's gotten farther and farther into the corner. Finally drops the Reavers and gonna take some shots. But the Dragoon number is getting way too low. He's gonna have to pick up the Reavers and run, I think. Oh my god, the Reaver damage is insane. Holy, one Reaver goes down, the other gets picked up. Can be moved to the high ground, but the army is dead. The army is dead and gone. Fresh army moving out from Snow. Looking much less serious. Gonna continue to produce Reavers and try to hold bottom right. I think he holds this. 4 or 5 cannons with a Reaver on high ground. Snow will get to 4 bases, it seems. 4 base, Protoss, and no hive. We've seen this several times from Soma. Getting this hive extremely late and trying to stay on layer tech. And just keep it scrappy. It hasn't worked very well. Versus Snow when we've gotten to these later game stages. It seems like he consistently has Defiler a little bit too late. Oh, transferring probes with the shuttles. Snow gonna get away with this. And I don't think that Soma even knows about the base in bottom right. I don't think he's aware of this. So not only is he getting into a more difficult position, but he doesn't even know that the position is like this. And that's what I'm talking about. Reavers getting some nice free kills, picking off lots of Hydras and Lurkers. Not exactly free. It does cost 15 minerals per Scarab, of course, but it's nearly free. Lurkers aren't able to fight back. Very hard to run up on top of Reavers and try to kill with Lurker. Something came down to bottom right. He just spotted it there. Someone now knows about this 4th base, and it's a little bit worrisome. Worrisome that he cannot shut that down. He's going to actually shove forward. Oh my goodness. Look at this army. 181 supply is nuts, but he's going to try and shove in towards the natural. I don't think you're getting in there. I don't care how many units you have. Storms and Reaver. Snow is going to absolutely eviscerate everything. Some storms go down over here on the right-hand side, and the supply is just plummeting. Can't be too aggressive with this, but another great storm there. Hold position on those Hydras so they just get wrecked. Can he push it? He's going to try again for the natural? I'm not so sure about that. Soma has another base online, going up to 5, but 5 base, no hive. I don't think this is a recipe for success. He must be getting the hive now. Still, Defiler is so far away, and Snow is basically in a late game situation. Like, he's got Reavers, he's got High Templars, and Archon, Storms, Dragoons. He's got everything he needs. Got a late game army, whereas Soma's still sitting here on a mid game army. Are we actually gonna see Snow manage a win versus Soma with 2 Stargate Corsair Reaver? That is wild, and it'll bring us to a final game, which is just so fantastic. Can't tell you how happy I am to have this duel series back. Definitely support it, guys, if you can. Check links in the description. Again, it's going to be going on 4 times per week. So we'll get plenty of content for you guys to watch. Ooh, dive on top of this army. He pulls back the Reavers at least, but he's going to lose all the High Templar. All the High Templar go down. 2 more High Templar here come down from the ramp. Reavers, Storms on everything. I don't think the Mutas can actually stay here long enough to kill all of these Reavers, and so this base is likely to come up. Yeah, someone just doesn't have it, man. Where's the Hive? Where's the Defilers? 4 Reavers and 3 High Templars. Man, imagine trying to break that with layer tech. It is ridiculous. He's going to dive on top of the High Templar again. Looks like he'll get a couple. Couple of High Templar go down, but you haven't solved the problem of the Reavers yet. Yeah, if there was no Reavers here, maybe he could break this. With 4 Reavers, it's just not going to happen. 3-3 is done for Snow. Hive is done, but 22 minutes in, Defiler Mound is just being made. Soma's going to try to take multiple bases, but I think that we're going to see Snow move out with a full army here pretty soon. Completely maxed army is going to come forward with Reavers, High Templars, Dragoons, and Zealots, and there's not going to be even a Dark Swarm to try and hold it, not to mention Plague placed down on these Reavers, and so I think there's a good chance that Snow can start ripping Soma apart. His fights are going to be so one-sided. He doesn't have an Archon in here, no Archon at all, so the Mutas are actually going to do a pretty decent job still. There's so many High Templar. Plus the Reavers. Oh my god! Is it going to lose the shuttle? Oh! Keeps the Reaver alive. No, one of them's going to survive anyway. Army's dead. And Soma's still ahead in supply. I can't believe he's managed to hold on here. It was so much splash damage. I swear, if there was like 2 Archons in that army, he could have just battered back the Mutas and held his ground there. Wouldn't have had to panic, pick up everything, and run. Could have just casually casted down the storms and focused on making sure that the Reavers did the most damage possible. Oh, High Templars here in the natural. I really hope that Snow doesn't throw this. I felt like he had I felt like he had the right plays. Oh, a bit of lag there. I felt like he had the right plays up until this last couple of fights. Had the opportunity to actually win this with no Dark Swarm active. Still no Dark Swarm. He's actually going to drop the Reavers on top of this? Are you crazy? That is insane. Dropping the Reavers here on the right-hand side. Storms go down. He's trying desperately to break this now, but it's not going well. And the Reavers here has got to be a little bit more cautious. Keep rallying forward. Keep rallying up army. And look to slowly break one of these positions. Again, nearing max out. His 2 bases in the bottom right are going to last for quite a bit longer. If Snow can break the center left or the center right and take over that base, he's going to draw it to a split map situation and should be able to win from there. On paper, you're going to be able to trade better overall than the Zerg player. Snow fully maxed, lots of sunken colonies. He totally realizes it. He knows that Snow is in a bit of a corner here and has to break one of these 2 locations. Another nice pair of snipes there. Only 1 armor. Dude, he's crazy far behind the curve. Soma is so far behind in terms of his tech and upgrades and everything, but he's just done a great job of surrounding the army again and again. Not giving Snow the victories that he needs. Coming forward here, gonna throw down some plagues. Finally, the Defilers are active. 26 minutes into the game, we see the first Defiler spells. Reavers on the low ground. It can be difficult to shoot up these ramps, but it looks like he's found the angle. Not able to get the storms actually on the lurkers there, unfortunately, and can't quite break up this ramp. Is he gonna go for the middle? I think maybe he needs to move to the middle. Open up the option for an attack to the natural. Force the Zerg to react to him rather than just defending on high ground. Pushing through the middle looks hard though with these Dark Swarms active. It's not going to be easy to get through this. Army coming around to loop to the back. Snow trying to push forward here. He's got the Reavers, but they've been plagued. Only the 2 Reavers in the army for now. Not sure how many he has on the defensive right now. Looking for snipes. It would be so easy to lose this Reaver shuttle. Has now arrived here at the center left. I don't know if he can push up this ramp, guys. That looks difficult. Still making Dragoons is a little bit crazy. It's time to switch over completely to High Templar Zealot to go along with these Reavers. I don't see any Archons in this army, and it's been like that for a while. Oh my gosh, the Reaver connections. Holy. A huge round of drones just went down there. But the surround is epic. So many different angles he's approaching this army from. The Reavers look like they're about to fall. With both the Reavers going down, Soma just needs to reconvene an army to shut this down. Snow is trying to take the base in the middle, as is Soma. Both players trying to take this simultaneously. Is not going to end well for one of them. More Reavers being brought forward. And the Archon number is starting to grow. I wonder what the Ling upgrades are like right now, because he was so far behind on those upgrades for such a long time. I wonder if he's even got +2 Ling attacks yet. Lurker here, pretty annoying. Soma dragging the army out of position. He will kill this pylon. Not going to be able to set up the cannons here in the middle. That's for sure. A lot of lurkers here. Oh my goodness. So many lurkers coming out of Soma now. I feel like the window for Snow was missed by a long shot in this game. That window when Defiler was not active seemed to be the right moment for him to push, but he's still going to try and fight it out here with these late game armies. Taking a pretty reasonable fight here, deleting the hatchery in the middle at the very least. Not able to push any further though. Missing out on some critical aspects, I think, here, Snow, as well. Not really going for High Templar storm drops at either the center left or the center right. Neglecting those crucial harassment techniques. Gonna try to move over here to the right-hand side. This is a big move from Snow. If this doesn't work, his whole army is gonna get caught top right and probably get destroyed. But if he gets up here and kills these bases, it's going to be pretty bad for Soma. I'm going to lose a lot of his economy. Coming up onto high ground, you can use the Reavers to very quickly destroy a lot of these eggs. The eggs go down very quickly to Reaver. Can also use it to just kill the lurkers after they spawn, of course. There you go. Guardians from the south make their way forward and actually kill one of the Reavers. Archon's coming up on the high ground. Zealot Archon gonna crush through these through these lurkers pretty quickly. Reaver on the high ground. He's broken him in the top right. He's got up here on the high ground. He's gonna kill all of these drones, no doubt. Still, Snow has not broken center right or center left, and nor will he, I believe. And I can't see him actually taking this. Oh my gosh. The Reaver Archon getting into this spot and actually pushing away the mining from center right. This is a great move as well. Trying to bring up some lurkers here, but the Reaver is still standing strong. Trying to target that down, but it's allowing the cannons to actually target down Lings. Now getting on top of this. Looks like he's going to end up losing control of this base, potentially. At least the low ground anyway. Pulling away a lot of those probes. Reaver here. Doesn't get the shot off on the lurker, so I think this is going to die. Army making its way forward to try and assist. Looks like a lot of probes are going to die for Snow down here at the natural. He's down to just one base mining. But I think that Soma's in a similar situation. Oh, a great plague on these Zealots. It's going to make them so much weaker. He needs to clear this. But all these plague Zealots are doing so badly against the lurkers that are burrowed here at the bottom of the ramp. Just the one base mining at center left. I think he's starting to get some drones over to that center right as well. But Snow is losing his army. I mean, look at the supplies, guys. 161 to 87. 87 is pretty close to dead. Soma gonna have to back away. And I think Snow will retake this. Yeah, it looks like he is gonna get this Nexus back up. Damn, what a game indeed. Re-saturating the base over here at the center right. If there was, for example, a storm drop right now, I think Snow just wins. I think Snow would just win the game. It looks like he knows it too. Soma knows it, so he brings a bunch of Scourge forward. Reavers are doing so much good work though against these lurkers. He's gonna get up onto this high ground. Where's the Observer? Did he kill the Observer? He might have. I don't see an Observer here. Might be over the army. Dark Swarm, or excuse me, Storm breaks this position, and I think he's finally done it. Snow has done it, guys. He's broken this base. He's still got 173 supply. He should be able to shut down this attack, regardless of losing the Nexus or not. Gonna shut this down and re-establish this base. I don't know where the Observers are, but looks like they're gonna come forward now and deal with this. We're gonna go 4-4, guys. A completely even series is absolutely insane. Snow's done it. He's managed to make it happen. 50 supply is just not gonna cut it. With one base mining, there's not much hope here for Soma. He sees all the Archons moving through the middle of the map. He knows that he's cooked, and he's going to have to tap out here in a moment. Oh! I don't know how many Reavers were in there, but he did lose that. I think he's going to be fine, though. 12 Archons on screen. 12 Archons is a little bit too much to cut through. I don't care what kind of positioning you have on this Lurker and Hydra army. Unless he can't see you, he's not gonna be able to win that fight. Soma taps out. GG, guys, 4-all in this series. What a great set to come back to the Duel series with. Couldn't have asked for better. An amazing lineup here. And an excellent series. Metropolis goes to Snow, and Soma versus Snow is going to our final map. For that epic finisher. We're going to be going to Knockout, guys. Knockout, our final map of the night. I'm going to take a very quick bathroom break. And then we're going to jump into our final game. One moment here. All right, I am back. Ready to see the final conclusion, the epic conclusion of this series. Just hoping that it doesn't come down to a Ling run by. I hope not. Get another match like that last one. To finish us off would be fantastic. Here we go. Soma spawning in the bottom right. Snow, bottom left. Knockout. For our final game of the night. A lot of money in both these guys' pockets for all their wins so far. But pride is on the line here in this final game. Who will win this best of 9? With the series dead even. Both players want to get that mental edge over their opponent for a future series against each other. This is a good test to see what their opponent is going to do in a situation like this. May affect future series between the two of them. When pushed to the absolute limit on game 9, are you going to pull out a cheese? Are you going to play absolutely standard? Are you going to do some sort of mix-up? We're all on the edge of our seats waiting for the answer here, and Snow going to get in to scout and find out for himself. Sees the overpool. Soma grabs his natural and saw the angle of the probe coming in. It was an end scout from Snow, so a little bit misleading. Thinks that probably Snow's top left, but in fact bottom left is the correct answer to the puzzle. Yeah, Snow doing an unorthodox scout. Look at that. He went top left and then went all the way to bottom right. And so it's just not quite sure where he's at. Snow going to come over here and block the probe. He's got 2 hits on the drone here. So he would win that fight if one Ling wasn't sent to assist. Nice little pick up there, getting a Ling kill as well. A little bit rough for Soma. Starting this one out. We'll block this probe out though. You're not getting up there. Not with that extra pair of Lings that's just been made. But making this many Lings early is a little bit rough. 6 Lings with an overpool build, and he gets no damage, and the probe's still alive. Can it actually get in ahead of these Lings and make it into the main? Oh, he doesn't make a move for it. Could have gotten in that main there just now, but now the Lings are in position. Layer on the way once again, but the question remains, will there be a Hydra Den here as well? Pre-storm timing. Might not be as strong on this map with the ditch in front of the natural. That low ground could cause a bit of a problem when the bus comes in. We'll see if that ends up affecting anything. Trying to run the probe in. Can he get past? Drones to block. At least denies the scout there of the main for the second time. Gonna have to rely on this Stargate. Not a comfortable position right now for Snow, being blind on the map. There could be Hydras on the way right now. He may have to make safety cannons. Spire in the natural. No Hydrogen that I can see just yet. See if he ends up taking second and third gas. I think that Snow is maybe weakest to the Mutalisk play. I think he's shown that this series. Snow maybe wanting to rely on that Mutalisk control to bring himself to an advantage. Once again, there's the Hydroden, extra hatchery as well. The opportunity to maybe push away this Corsair and then go for a Hydra Bust, Freestorm Hydra Bust again. Doesn't mean that he has to do it though. He doesn't have to try it for that, but it seems very strong. It's like I said, maybe his final form. The strongest build we see out of Soma. And the hardest to defend, hardest to defeat. Scourge gonna come out now and start to push this back. He sees the Hydroden though. Will he begin to add more cannons to the mix? Zealots are pushing forward, looking for a bit of harassment, but Mutas are gonna pop out now. And I feel a bit of deja vu here as Mutas push this away and Lings kind of dance around the Zealots, not giving them the engage. Are we once again going to get that Hydra Bust, that pre-storm Hydra Bust? I feel it in my bones right now. Time to start adding on more cannons. No, he's actually going to save the Zealots this time, which might make a big difference should that Hydra Bust come through. Coming into the main base here, looking for some damage. Gonna get a probe. Oh, trying to do the flick shot there, but kind of failed. Still didn't take damage from those Scourge. A lot of Hydras being made right now. It's kind of looking like that Hydra Bust timing. No sixth hatchery, no third gas. He's gonna pull the trigger on this. Storm just started now. Long way off from that Storm upgrade being finished. And the timing for the defense. DT out on the map. DT gonna come through. I don't see many more drones getting at it. Okay, there's some more drones popping out. It seems like he's not gonna pull the trigger on this. Seems like someone's just making enough Hydras to defend, and then he may go back into droning and adding on additional hatcheries, maybe taking that fourth base. This is looking like a more normal game. Good defense here so far. Utilizing the Overlord speed here to get rid of that DT. Shoving everything away now. Adding those additional gateways and getting prepped for the mid game. He's avoided disaster with a Hydraless Bust breaking him open early. Hydras be morphing into lurkers soon. The lurker upgrade coming in pretty early for Soma. Is this a game where he goes early hive? You may want to set up lurkers with this 4th base and quickly get into a 5th with a hive on the way. He might decide that, you know what? If we're going to go late game, I need to get into my tech a little bit sooner. It's definitely been his problem in at least 2 of these games that he's lost. Getting hive a bit too late, relying a bit too much on layer tech. No Dark Archon just yet. No Dark Archon here from Snow. I thought he would go for that. Worked so well for him in the past. And you just know how much of an affinity Soma has for these Mutalist plays. Ooh, that's too many Hydras. Can't quite dive on the ball of Overlords there at the natural. Gonna come into the 3rd base though. Zealots get in here and start to shove back the Hydras. Gonna go after the Overlords now that they're screening for the Corsairs. Gets a few Overlord kills there. Nothing huge, but getting a little bit of damage going. Oh, okay. I mean, what are the chances that a round of Mutas comes out now? These Corsairs are low. I feel like that's an eventuality. Now that he's done this damage, now that the Corsairs are a little bit less of a threat. There's no Dark Archon, no Maelstrom available. Someone not quite saturating that 4th just yet. Still making massive units. Here comes the Mutas. Yep. Exactly what you would expect. Someone making the switch. And he's going to look for those High Templar snipes as this 3rd base is coming up. This is the vulnerable time right now for our Protoss player. Storm on top of his own High Templar that dies. And the army is just ripping up this ramp. The Corsairs were slightly out of position at that precise moment. Couple of High Templars here on the low ground. A lot of Zealots to bring forward, but he's just going to run out with the Zealots. Maybe try to counter. Cancel. No cancel? No cancel on the Nexus is crazy. He knew that was going down. I was watching the mineral patches, or the mineral count there, and he did not cancel. Unfortunate here for Snow. He's just going to try to counter. See what he can do. But the Lurkers back at home as well. Hydras everywhere. This is looking a little bit rough. Just a shame that he didn't realize that Soma would go for Mutas when those Corsairs got low. When the number of Corsairs was diminished and the Corsairs were badly damaged. A switch back into Mutas. And a quick couple of Templar snipes put Snow in a horrible position. He's going to try to move forward now. Go around these Lurkers maybe. Try to head towards that center right perhaps. But he's not going to have a 3rd base. Like, I don't see him taking a 3rd base behind this. Arms. High Templar are going down though. 2 to 3 High Templar are going to be sniped. Storms do get thrown out here. He makes an Archon at the end. And the Mutas are all taken out, but forced back across these bridges. And he's going to be losing some of this army as he attempts to retreat. Just spilling in here, and Soma just dominating in this final game. Pushing him back right into his natural. Army spilling forward here. Lots of Zealots coming out to try and assist this. Not a lot of Lurkers to fight here. And in fact, a lot of lurkers died pretty quickly. A lot of hydras just went down as well. So, you know, maybe there's a shot for Snow to come back up on this high ground. Try to take this base. Where's the storm? No storm? Okay, we've got no storm to deal with this. Maybe not. Maybe not. I guess he didn't have energy, made the Archon instead. And so he's not going to be able to take this high ground. All the Dragoons are going down, and GG is finally called. That's it, guys. A win for Soma. He takes this series. But it was a blast. A lot of fun games here. And a seriously hotly contested game there at the end of Metropolis. Insanely good game. That game number 8. Couldn't ask for more. Of course, my graphic disappears here right at the end. That's it, guys. We're finished here with the first episode of the Duel series, but come back for more in just 2 days' time. Same time here on SCTV EN. We're going to be watching Best versus Light. Should be another epic series. Best versus Light. Best of 7 for Best versus Light. Not the full best of 9. This was a very special one, guys, for us. That best of 9 between the two ASL finalists for this season, giving us another show here in the Soup Duel series. Thank you guys again for your support, for your attention to this series, and I'm going to be doing many, many more to come. 4 per week. Again, 2 on Saiyan KCM and 2 are going to be coming out on StarCastTV. So make sure that you're subscribed to both of those channels. And make sure that you're following SCTV EN if you are available. 10 a.m. Korean Standard Time is when these are going to be streamed live. That's it, guys. See you in the next video.